Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. This is a video to tell you all about March new releases, aka book releases that are coming out in March. I haven't prepped for this video, can you tell? So I'm actually feeling a little bit rough today, so I may not be bringing much energy to this video, but I do have a bunch of new releases to tell you about. There are 18 books that I'm looking forward to that are coming out in March, and I wanted to share them with you like I do every single month on my channel. If you enjoy this video, by the way, do like and subscribe, because then I will know that I should carry on doing these videos every single month. I'm going to try to remember to mention the date that each of these books is coming out. If I don't remember the date, you can check out the Goodreads or Storygraph pages for all of these books, and I will list all of the books down below for you. These aren't going to be in any particular order because I am not that organised. Like I said, I'm feeling a bit rough. It might snow here tonight. I have to go into the office tomorrow. I'm feeling it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with this video because I'm sure you're all here to hear about new releases. The first new release I want to mention is What Have We Done by Alex Finlay. This is coming out on the 7th of March. This is Alex Finlay's third book under this pen name. He does have another pen name, or this isn't his real name, I just can't remember what his other name is, so it's not important. Alex Finlay writes thriller books, and I really enjoyed his first one, which was Every Last Fear. His next one, Something About a Night Shift, was okay. It was good, and then I'm really excited to read this one, even though it's not gotten very good reviews so far. It says here that it's about a stay-at-home mum with a past, a has-been rock star with a habit, a reality TV producer with a debt, and one deadly secret. 25 years ago, these people were all the best of friends. The trauma of their childhood never left them. That's all I really need to know about this one. I, like I said, have enjoyed Alex Finlay's writing in the past, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I don't think it's going to be amazing. Nothing about the synopsis is really like gripping me as much as his previous books has. There's nothing really stand out there, but I do think I might like it, so that's why it's on this list. Also on March 7th we have What Happened to Ruthy Ramirez. This one is a contemporary kind of mystery debut. The main character, Ruthie, is Puerto Rican, living on, is it Staten Island? Staten Island? I don't really know much about the US, I'm gonna be honest. She disappeared when she was 13, and then her older sister sees her on a reality TV show 12 years later, or at least she thinks it's her sister. So these sisters who haven't gone missing, they kind of put together a plan to go and find Ruthie, who is now starring on this reality TV show, and I think their mother also gets involved. So it's about all the women in this family coming together to try and find the missing child, who is now an adult. Did I explain that well? Probably not. I really like the sound of this. If it's a kind of family story with a kind of mystery in the middle of it with a little bit of reality TV as well, I think it sounds very, very good. And speaking of reality TV, that was a very smooth segue, you'll see why. I have The Golden Spoon. I was actually approved for this one on EW. The publisher, Simon & Schuster, just gave it to me, and they've never done that before, so I don't really know what's up with them, but I'm not going to argue. Even though this looks like a fantasy book, this is actually an adult mystery thriller. It says here that a killer is on the loose when someone turns up dead on the set of a hit TV baking competition, which is why I said it's a good segue. Production for the 10th season of Bake Week is underway. 6 contestants work to prove their culinary talents over the course of 5 days. The host, Betsy, is less than thrilled to share the spotlight with a new co-host, a brash and unpredictable Archie Morris. I think this is gonna be really fun. I enjoy kind of the, not cozy mysteries, but lower stakes mysteries, even though someone's turned up dead. So it's not the lowest stake, I suppose, but you know what I mean. This one's coming out on the 7th of March as well. On the 1st of March, which has already been and gone, we have The Maids Diary. This one is another mystery thriller book, an adult one. I think this is about rich people drama, kind of. The maid goes missing, and the maid previously had a snooping problem and was looking around the rich people's house. So I imagine she found something that she wasn't supposed to find, and I love the sound of that. I really enjoy rich people drama when they kind of get themselves into a mess and can't get out of it and get investigated. I think it's really fun, especially when that mess is like so ridiculous and over the top. For example, Gossip Girl and Crazy Rich Asians love those dramas because it's just so unrealistic, and yeah, I bet it does still happen to people. Next, also on the 1st of March, we have Wild, Beautiful and Free. This one is historical fiction set around the time of the Civil War, I think. The main character was born the daughter of a plantation owner and an enslaved black woman. She was raised alongside her white half-sister in the main house, and then her father dies, and then that was kind of like the protection that she had growing up. When the guy dies, her stepmother, I guess she would be called, sells her into slavery. I'm really into historical fiction at the moment. I haven't really read much Civil War era stuff, so it's something I am trying to get into. Previously, a lot of my historical fiction reading has been around World War II because that's definitely the most prominent, I think, at least here in the UK. So I am trying to branch out a little bit. I have a few books also set in Malaysia, Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia as well that I still want to read. But yeah, this is an interesting sounding Civil War setting. Next we have Midnight Strikes. This one comes out on the 12th of March, 14th of March, I can't read. This is a YA fantasy debut with a timey-wimey twist. So I really enjoy time travel stuff, and this one is a fantasy book but with time travel involved as well, so to me that sounds amazing. I do have a review copy of this one but I haven't read it yet. It says here that the main character is a girl who attends an anniversary ball. There's a bunch of eligible bachelors there, including the roguish prince. At the stroke of midnight, an explosion rips through the palace and kills everyone in its path, including her. And then it happens again and again, and I love the sound of that Groundhog Day type stuff. Time travel, I really enjoy. So I think I'm going to love this book and I can't wait to read it. So I'm going to try to fit it in actually this week because I'm doing an ebook readathon and I'm convinced I'm going to love it. Next we have A Long Stretch of Bad Days. This one is also coming out on the 14th of March, not the 12th. This is by Mindy McGinnis, who is an author I have read quite a bit from before actually. Some of her books I have absolutely adored and then others have just been alright. So I'm curious to see where this one falls. I think I do have a review copy of this one as well. It's really bad that I can't remember, but I'm fairly sure I do. So this one is a kind of contemporary thriller book, and it has a podcast element as well, which is something that I really enjoy at the moment, books with podcast elements. The main character is investigating a week in which her hometown was hit by a tornado and a flash flood, and then there was also a murder at the same time, and the murder has remained unsolved, so I think she probably wants to help out with that via her podcast. I really hope I enjoy this one because Mindy McGinnis has let me down before, and then I might do a video on which book of hers I think is best. I think I've got like 3 more books of hers to read, so let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments below and I can definitely catch up on all of her backlist and tell you which books I think are worth reading because it has been a bit of a mixed bag. Next there is a book from another author that I have read before, and that is Stars and Smoke by Marie Lu. Marie Lu normally writes, I guess, fantasy or science fiction. She started out writing a dystopia series and now she's trying her hand at contemporary mystery because I guess that's the hit genre at the moment. It says here that the main character is a backup dancer turned global pop phenomenon. I can never say that word properly. And then there's also a separate character who is a criminal tycoon who has a daughter called Penelope. And this synopsis is starting to not make sense. I'm really struggling to figure out what on earth is going on here. Something about teenage spies and secret agents and then bodyguards and boy bands. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm very intrigued now. This is coming out on the 28th of March and I do actually want to get my hands on it. Next we have a book that is very challenging to pronounce and I've still got no idea how to properly say it, so I'm gonna go with Slytemnestra, otherwise it could become awkward. So I also have a review copy of this one. This one is coming out on the 2nd of March in the US I think, and I think it's got a different publication date in the UK. I just can't remember when that is, I'm sorry. This is a Greek mythology retelling. I imagine it's got some sort of feminist twist because they all do at the moment. It's a debut and I always really enjoy supporting debut authors, so that's good. It's being compared to Circe, of course. I don't really know much about the original myth, I'm going to be honest, so I'm very intrigued to see what happens in this one because I've got no clue. Most Greek mythology retellings that I've come across so far have been like the usual suspects crowd. This one sounds a little bit more original because I've, yeah, like I said, not heard of them before. Next we have a book called Red Queen, which is a translated book. This was originally written in Spanish and it came out a few years ago and it's now being released in English for the first time. This one is a crime mystery thriller kind of book. I do have a review copy of this one as well and I'm looking forward to reading it because I think it's going to be really fast paced, and reading the synopsis it also says that there is a Amazon streaming series to debut in 2023, so maybe that's already out. I haven't really heard anything about it. This is, I think, the first in a series as well, and the main character is called Antonia. She's the daughter of a British diplomat and a Spanish mother, and she has a gifted forensic mind. There's also a guy who's a police officer, and I guess they have to work together to solve a murder because that's how crime books work. I don't really need to know much more about it, to be honest, because otherwise it might spoil things. I'm looking forward to reading it and I'm trying to read more translated fiction this year, so that's what this is. That's coming out on the 16th of March. I've actually written that down. Next we have a book called The Mimicking of Known Successes. This is the first book or novella, I think, in a series. I do have a review copy of this one as well. I haven't read it yet. It's coming out on the 7th of March. This is a Western murder mystery sapphic set on Jupiter. I think I got all the buzzwords right. Let me just double check. Yeah, so it says, on a remote outpost of a human colony on Jupiter, a man goes missing. The investigator follows his trail, and one of the other main characters is trying to assist on or work on a possible return to Earth. So I guess humans can't live on Earth at this point whenever this book is set. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I haven't read it yet, but I am hoping to read it this week, again because I'm doing an ebook readathon, and I think this one would be a good one to read. It's less than 200 pages, so it won't take me long at all, and I'm really looking forward to it. Next we have a book that actually came out in February, I think in either the US or the UK, and now it's coming out in the other country in March on the 16th, I think. And that's called The Half-Burnt House. The other title for it is The Angel Maker, and I don't know which one is which, and it's really confusing. I don't know why people or the publisher keeps doing this for Alex North's books, because they did it with his previous book as well. It's very annoying. I guess it's a marketing thing that I don't really understand. So this is a adult thriller by Alex North. I've read two books from him so far, and I have enjoyed them, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I've got a review copy of this one as well. It says here that someone called Katie was once looking after her younger brother called Chris, and then she left him alone for the afternoon and he got attacked. He survived. They're now adults and they haven't spoken in years. She gets a call from a detective, and the younger brother, Chris, is one of the suspects in another crime. So this sounds really good. Like I said, and have enjoyed Alex North's books in the past, so I'm hoping I'll enjoy this one, whatever it's called. I really don't know. The next one I want to mention is called The Lies of the Ajungo. This one is coming out on the 21st of March, and it's another novella. I do have a review copy of this one as well. I'm not trying to brag, I just need to say it because otherwise you'll think that I'm keeping secrets and only mentioning books because I have 3 copies. Which is not the case. I need to disclose these things, I'm sorry. So in this book, the main character has to go off in search of water because the city he lives in doesn't have any, and his mother is dying. So I think he has to go and travel through the desert, which I think, if it's not based in the real world, which I don't think it is, it's based on the Sahara, a very large stretch of desert. And it's also the first in a series, and somehow magic comes into play here as well. I'm just not really sure how. This is another one that I'm trying to read this week, so you'll see in my wrap up if I end up enjoying it. I really hope that I do. The next one I have is called The Great Reclamation. This one comes out on the 28th of March. It's historical fiction. It's set in Singapore. I believe it's about a main character who has grown up in a fishing village, and he has a best friend, and then the Japanese army invades and everything goes a bit downhill, to say the least. And I think it's about the two of them surviving, coming to terms with this new country that they live in, and kind of deciding who they want to be. It says here that the book confronts the wounds of progress, the sacrifices of love, and the difficulty of defining home when nature and nation collide, literally shifting the land beneath people's feet. Like I said, I'm getting more into historical fiction lately, and I haven't really read anything set in Singapore apart from a couple of contemporary books. So no historical fiction. I've got no idea about Singapore's history, so hopefully this will be a good one to start me off. Then we have Camp Zero, which is a dystopian climate fiction, sci-fi book. This one's coming out on the 30th of March in the US, and I think sometime in April in the UK. So I've actually already started this one because I'm buddy reading it with my friend Marlene. I am only 1 chapter in so far, but the blurb compares it to Station 11 and The Power. The tagline is, "In the far north of Canada sits Camp Zero, an American building project hiding many secrets." The main character, Rose, is trying to help her climate-displaced Korean immigrant mother and goes into Camp Zero as a spy. Something about an elite group of women soldiers and also Cold War era climate research. I don't know, I enjoy sci-fi and I'm looking forward to carrying on reading this one later and reading it with Marlene. It is one that I think that I will enjoy, so looking forward to reading it. The Writing Retreat is one that I mentioned last month in my February new releases video, but it's coming out in the UK in March, so I wanted to mention it. I think it's actually already out. I think it came out on the 2nd of March, and this is basically about a bunch of writers who are gathered together on this writing retreat for, I think, a month, and they're told to try and write the best novel. Whoever writes it will get a incredible publishing deal, and then I think people start to die. It sounds really good. The publisher still hasn't approved me for it on NetGalley. It's still pending, but I have hope. Maybe I will be approved at some point. But like I said, it's already out in both countries, so I could just buy it for myself if I want to. I might, or I might just get it from the library. And then finally on the 28th of March we have Rubicon by J.S. do's. This one has caused some controversy because I think the cover is actually illustrated by AI, which, you know, is not cool. But it says here that Sergeant Adrienne Valero wants to die. She can't. She has been resurrected 96 times, and she has been reassigned to a special forces unit outfitted with a cutting edge virtual intelligence aid. So it's sci-fi, space opera kind of stuff. I don't really know what their deal is, but I imagine the main character has to go to war. I've heard really good things about this author's writing. I haven't read The Last Watch yet, which was her debut, but I do own it and I really want to read it soon. I don't think I'm going to get to Rubicon anytime soon because I probably want to read her first trilogy first, but it's definitely on my list because even with that terrible cover, I'm still excited to read it, and I also quite like the author on Twitter. So at the moment she is someone that I want to support. And that was all. I don't know how many books that was, but I'm sure I will have put it in the title. Sorry I kind of rushed through these. I really need to go to sleep because I am exhausted, and like I said, it might snow tonight and I have to go to the office tomorrow, so I need to prepare myself mentally and emotionally. Let me know in the comments below which of these books you're excited for. Let me know if I've missed any of your most anticipated books out. Like I said, I do post these videos every single month, so if you enjoyed this and you want to stay on top of more new book releases, then do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If not, I do post videos to my channel 2 or 3 times a week, so there's always something else for you to see instead if you're not interested in these videos. If you're not interested, I don't know how you got this far in the video, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. I will speak to you all in the next one. Bye!